Hi, I'm Steve from the Stonecrafting Workshop. Welcome. I recently did a review of this, the Parkside Cordless Multi tool, and I also did a review of this, the Parkside Air Multi tool. And I've had a few questions about them both, and so what I'm going to do is a quick comparison between the two machines. I'm going to try out various tasks and see how each machine gets on. I'm going to use the Parkside tool on full speed all the time, and the Parkside Air tool will be on full speed on its maximum pressure of 6.3 bars. I've got that set on the compressor. All things being equal, they're operating at the same sort of level. So let's start off by seeing them cut a piece of timber. So our first task is to cut the end off of this board. Let's start off with the air tool, and the first job is to fit the blade. Which entails screwing this down using the Allen key. I'm going to use the same blade on each one. It's a brand new blade, so I don't think the tool going second is any disadvantage. And as I mentioned in my review, that I find you have to really do this screw up with the Allen key quite aggressively. So let's cut through. There we go. So that cut through it reasonably easily. The whole point being, I guess, is that you would normally be cutting a bit of skirting board in situ, because there's much easier ways of cutting board. And you know, there's no other way of doing it that I know of in situ that's as good as this kind of tool. You will note that the fitting of the blade on this kind of tool, the electric cordless, is much quicker and easier. Let's see what the cutting's like. It's on full power. Well, that was a revelation. That was much smoother and much quicker. Actually surprises me slightly. The air tool was a bit kind of more vibration, or lower frequency vibration. A bit heavier, kind of bang, 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 bang. So there you go. There's a bit of a surprise. Let's try a spot of sanding down. First, let's fit the sanding plate. So I've got a 60 grit paper disc on this, and I've marked out a 6-inch section of paintwork here, and I'm just going to take the paint off of this facial section of this board, and I'll try to take account of that there's got some bad marks in it, and then I'll do another 6-inch section using the cordless tool. Well, it's left a little bit of paint on here and around this knot, which is fair enough. The knot is going to be hard. Seemed to work pretty well on the air tool. Let's try the cordless battery driven tool. I do like the fact that this is so easy to fit. That's that fitted. New 80 grit sanding pad. Well, that again seemed a lot quicker, and it's also got a knot in the middle, so it was a pretty fair comparison, but I'd just say the cordless electric tool comes out better. Let's try something that requires raw power rather than this kind of the high vibration. I've got these, and I don't know whether they came with the tools themselves. I've got two of them for some reason, or whether I bought them with replacement blade kits. But let's try them. It's got a very coarse carbide faceplate on it. Let's try it out. First of all, we've got to fit it on this air tool. Okay, there it is. The compressor's pumped up to full pressure again. And what I'm going to try and do is, I'll show you what I'm going to do. It's easier to show you than explain it. Right, I'm now going to put the sanding discs back on, the sanding pad. I'm just going to swap this over for a sanding pad of the correct size, because doing that you'll see that this gets into this groove a lot better. So there we are. Not a bad little moulding on the end of a bit of wood. I know if I used a finer grit of sandpaper, you'd sand that down and have quite a nice finish. That worked pretty well. I'm quite impressed at how well that grooved out this groove, and I'm obviously doing this in a bit of a rush. So let's try the cordless one, and now I'll do the same on this side here. Well, that is impressive, isn't it? Really nice. I'm really impressed with this tool now. I think I've only ever used it for sort of sanding down rough bits of paint and wood. But this is a revelation, really, if I'm honest. It's certainly made a smoother finish, but the air tool with this big graunching bit on it worked really well. So what do I think? Conclusions. I think you've all guessed, really. I think the air tool works. Okay, the air tool works really well. It's a simple tool to use. I find the fitting with this screw fitting annoying, and I think you're going to want a new screw before long, because the Allen key, you have to really whack these up tight to get them to hold. There's no speed control on it, but I don't think you need it. I can't think of an occasion where you would want to use it on low speed. I could be wrong about that. And if you use this air tool and you prefer it over the electrical one, let me know in the comments below, because I'd be really interested to know, you know, what you use it for and why you prefer it. But of the two, for me, the cordless battery powered multi-tool works much better, is a much better option. You do have an issue with both of them with the power dropping. I've got a big compressor with a big receiver, and I don't think that would be a problem for most jobs for me using this air tool. But even so, it does use the air at a faster rate than my compressor can supply it. And the problem with the cordless tool is obviously the battery runs down. As the battery power gets lower, so the speed of the tool gets lower and the power available to you gets lower. Now I've partially overcome that because I've got two of these machines, and therefore two batteries, a spare battery in other words. So which one of them would I recommend you buy? Well, I think hands down the cordless version of the tool. The quick release lever to get the tools on and off is incomparably better than this screw fitting on the air tool. The speed control is a lot more convenient. Even if I had a tap in my air line controlling the power, the flow to it, controlling airflow is notoriously difficult and finicky. And the real deal breaker for me is the fact that right now, at this moment, I could pick this up and I could walk down the end of my garden and do a little job on a fence post, or I could go upstairs in a bedroom. I could put this in my car and drive to my grandmother's house and do some work on the house. I can't actually at the moment, we're in lockdown, but you get the point. And that for me is that makes this tool far and away better than the air tool. And incidentally, this tool, get one of them. It's a revelation. I've never actually used it for anything other than, I think, grinding down a bit of rough paintwork or something. But the fact that you can do quite a nice little moulding on a bit of wood and, you know, works really well. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it's been of some use to you. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you didn't like it, if you didn't like the video, just keep it to yourself. I hope it's of use to you. If you like these reviews and you want to see more reviews and comparisons on tools, please subscribe to my channel. More subscribers is always welcome, and it's quite important for any channel to build up a number of people that watch it regularly. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.